Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for November 26th. November 26th is the 330th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 35 days remaining until the end of the year. And today we're going to begin in the year of 1476, when Vlad the Impaler defeated Basarab Lyota with the help of Stephen the Great and Stephen V. Bathory, and became the ruler of Wallachia for the third time. In 1778, in the Hawaiian Islands, Captain James Cook became the first European to visit Maui. In 1789, a National Thanksgiving Day was observed in the United States as proclaimed by President George Washington at the request of Congress. In 1825, at Union College in Schenectady, New York, a group of college students formed the Kappa Alpha Society, becoming the progenitor of the modern fraternity system in North America. Unlike many other fraternities, KA has maintained a continuous existence since its foundation, making it the oldest undergraduate fraternity that exists today. Looks like most of these chapters are in the northeast of the United States, like New York, Pennsylvania, and up into Canada. In 1842, the University of Notre Dame was founded. In 1853, Bat Masterson, American police officer and journalist, was born. In 1862, the Alice in Wonderland manuscript was sent as a Christmas present. Oxford mathematician Charles Lutwidge Dodgson sent a handwritten manuscript called Alice's Adventures Underground to 10-year-old Alice Liddell. The 30-year-old Dodgson, better known by his nom de plume Lewis Carroll, made up the story one day on a picnic with young Alice and her two sisters, the children of one of Dodgson's colleagues. Dodgson, the son of a country person, had been brilliant in both mathematics and wordplay since he was a child, but he suffered from a severe stammer, except when he spoke with children. He had many young friends who enjoyed his fantastic stories. The Liddell children thought his tale of a girl who fell down a rabbit hole was one of his best efforts, and Alice insisted he write it down. The story is one of the earliest children's books written simply to amuse children and not to teach them, although I imagine a great many of us have learned something from Alice's Adventures Underground. In 1863, United States President Abraham Lincoln proclaims November 26th as National Thanksgiving Day, to be celebrated annually on the final Thursday in November. In 1895, co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill Wilson, perhaps better known as Bill W., was born on this date in 1895. Alcoholics Anonymous, also known as AA, is an international mutual aid fellowship with about 2 million members worldwide, belonging to approximately 10,000 groups, associations, organizations, cooperatives, and fellowships of alcoholics, helping other alcoholics achieve and maintain sobriety. Following AA's 12th tradition of anonymity, Wilson is commonly known as Bill W., or simply Bill. In order to communicate among one another, members of AA will often ask those who appear to be suffering from or having a relapse from alcoholism if they are friends of Bill. Although this question can be confusing because Bill is a common name, it does provide a means of establishing a rapport with those who are familiar with the saying and in need of help. After Wilson's death in 1971, and amidst much controversy within the fellowship, his full name was included in obituaries by journalists who were unaware of the significance of maintaining anonymity within the organization. AA is pert near everywhere. If you've got a drinking problem, you can likely find a group near you by visiting AA online at aa.org and clicking the AA Near You button. I placed a link in the show notes. And if you happen to be family, friend, or significant other of someone with a drinking problem, I recommend Al-Anon, and there's a link in the show notes to that too. These two organizations have helped countless millions since their respective formations. Bill W. died in 1971 at the age of 75. 1916. T.E. Lawrence reports on Arab affairs. Thomas Edward Lawrence, better known to many of us as Lawrence of Arabia, was at the time a junior member of the British government's Arab Bureau during World War I. On November 26, 1916, he published a detailed report analyzing the revolt led by the Arab leader Sharif Hussein against the Ottoman Empire in the late spring of 1916. He reported that the value of the tribes is defensive only and that their real sphere is guerrilla warfare. They're too individualistic to endure commands, or fight in line, or help each other. It would, I think, be impossible to make an organized force of them. Lawrence of Arabia. 1922, Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon became the first people to enter the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in over 3,000 years. In 1933, American-Canadian singer and actor Robert Goulet was born. And there's a song going through my head right now, but I'm not going to sing it. I'll put a link to some Robert Goulet in the show notes. 1939, American-Swiss singer-songwriter, dancer, and actress Tina Turner was born on this day. Swiss? Yes. Originally from the United States, she became a Swiss citizen in 2013. What a gal, Tina Turner. In 1941, FDR establishes the modern Thanksgiving holiday. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed a bill officially establishing the fourth Thursday in November as Thanksgiving Day. 1941, Japanese task force leaves for Pearl Harbor. They were trying to come to some agreement of differences. Japan wanted to end the U.S. economic sanctions, and the Americans wanted Japan out of China and Southeast Asia, but neither side was budging. President Roosevelt and his advisors were pretty sure that the Japanese might attack, but they didn't know exactly where this might happen. Chief of Staff Rear Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto opposed war with the United States, but believed that the only hope for a Japanese victory was a swift surprise attack via carrier warfare against the U.S. fleet. And again, I refer to a comment I made a few days ago. What were they thinking? Look at a map, for crying out loud. Here's little bitty Japan over here. Great big America over here. What could they have been thinking? In 1942, Casablanca opens in theaters. This was a World War II era drama starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, and it premiered in New York City. It would go on then to become one of the most beloved Hollywood movies in history. 1968, the United States Air Force helicopter pilot James P. Fleming rescued an Army Special Forces unit pinned down by Viet Cong fire. He was later awarded the Medal of Honor for this. And in 2003, the Concorde made its final flight over Bristol, England. And I think that's going to do it for us today. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Remember to click that little bell icon. Feel free to share this video if you found it interesting or informative. And while you're on YouTube, check out my other channel, 8 Susquehanna, link in the show notes. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. One more time. Annie hears me talking. She's got to come see what's going on. Okay, lay down. That's a good girl. Good girl. Let's do that one again. Blah, 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 coffee mug. It's late enough in the day that we're off coffee and on fizzy water. Just read the words. Just read the words. That's a lot of words. Hope I pronounced that right. There goes my crazy neighbor's car horn again. I'd like to think that one day she'll learn how to use that thing, but she'll just talk over it. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? She's not a man. Sure would be nice if I could ever read one of these in its entirety without having to start anything over. That would be awesome. I might have to take another look at that. I'm going to have to look at that. This is why I don't do live shows.